Good morning. Happy Mother's Day. This is Deborah, and today we are on day 41 of the Facebook video challenge that I have assigned to myself, and I'm actually really loving it. I'm loving being able to show up in this way, and I'm loving being able to serve you and share with you things that I know are universal. And a lot of it is taboo. We don't talk about money. We don't talk about shame. We don't talk about fear. We don't talk about the imposter syndrome. And I'm just here to be real, and I'm here to help you be real, because the more that we are in integrity and in authenticity with ourselves, the more we give others permission to do the same. And that is so powerful. So that's what I'm taking a stand for. Today is Mother's Day, and I want to share with you something that came up for me in my meditation this morning. I've been meditating on the meditation I'm doing is called the Meditation for a Calm Heart. And I've been listening to this really beautiful mantra with it. And the words are Putta Mata Ki Asis. And what the words to this beautiful meditation mean, is, may you never forget God. May you never forget Spirit. May you never forget your connection to Source. However that moves through you, whether it is, whether you're part of a church or a synagogue, or you have a spiritual practice or a practice in nature, what do you connect to that you know you are part of something bigger? And it's really a beautiful invitation to settle into, to take a seat in the flow, recognizing that we're one of many, many, many beads in Indra's net. We're one of many knots in a carpet. We're one of many beads on a prayer necklace. And each one of us matters, and each one of us is contributing in a particularly unique and beautiful way that matters. And what I felt arise this morning was more about my mother's lineage. So I just, sat down, as I do every morning, on my sheepskin, and I put my hand on my heart, and I put my other hand in Gyan Mudra, and I closed my eyes, and I started doing the long, deep breathing and pausing at the top of the inhale and pausing at the bottom of the exhale, and just noticing what wanted to arise and just letting what wanted to arise. And what came through first was, I thought about my mother, and I thought about what she grew up in and the wounds that she had passed on to me. And then I thought about her mother, my grandmother, and how my grandmother was one of 8 children. She'd lost one of her siblings, and she'd grown up in so much poverty, so much scarcity, that they slept 3 kids to a bed. And then I thought about her grandmother and my great-grandmother, who got into this country, the United States, on a stolen passport. And that got me thinking about how my lineage got here by pretending to be people they weren't, by hiding, by taking on another identity. And then again, the tears started to come up, because I realized that I've been carrying this imposter syndrome that I know a lot of people carry. In fact, I was just talking to somebody the other day who was saying, when I pretend to be somebody that I'm not, I have no trouble making money. But when I try to do it from my own self, I can't make a dime. And the imposter syndrome is such a common thing that dogs us and keeps us small. And where does it come from? So for my own self, I just discovered it in my own lineage, and how I came by it. It was both something that it was an escape. It was a way that literally kept us alive. And then, we, as a Jewish family, I'm talking about my lineage, not me, we had to figure out other ways to survive. So there was my great-grandmother who came in, and her whole family got in on stolen passports. And then when I think about my own grandparents, my grandfather was an Orthodox Jew, but he so wanted to be accepted by the neighborhood and by the community that I remember him dressing up in a Santa Claus suit every Christmas Eve and running up and down the street saying ho, 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 and passing out gifts and candy to all the neighborhood kids. And then I remember in his own house, he had a Christmas tree. And how confusing that was for me, a little Jewish girl. And I had huge fights with my mother, because I said, we're Jewish, how come we have a Christmas tree? And she thought I should be celebrating Christmas because she had celebrated Christmas. And it turns out she had celebrated Christmas because her father had celebrated Christmas because he wanted to be accepted, even though it wasn't his holiday. He was an Orthodox Jew. He went to the synagogue on Saturdays and he prayed and he discussed the fine points of the Torah. And yet on Sunday, he broiled a platter full of bacon for his neighbors and they would come in and play cards because he so wanted to be loved. He so had this people pleaser in him that I realized I inherited. He so had this imposter syndrome in him that I realized that I had also inherited. And I was so grateful that this could come up in the meditation, even as the tears were falling, because it was an opportunity for me to see what I had been carrying that I don't need to carry anymore. And then I recognized in my own self all of the different spiritual names I've had that others have given to me because others have seen something in me that I couldn't see in myself. And when I carried those other spiritual names, all of them beautiful spiritual names of the goddess, I was able to rise up and be that because someone else could see that in me, even though I couldn't see it in myself. And so it was just a beautiful opportunity, this meditation, for me to recognize all the ways that, there's more room for me to grow into my authenticity and my authority and the fullness of me. So that is my invitation for you today on Mother's Day, that you check out the lineage that you come from and see, where do you fit in that lineage, and what do you want to carry forth, and what is serving you to carry forth, and what maybe would you like to drop so that you can expand more into your own authenticity, or what have you already inherited that you could actually bring forth more into the trueness of you, because all of us is the totality of who we are. I am that imposter syndrome. I'm that girl who hid. I'm that little Jewish girl who was so confused because there was a Christmas tree in the living room. And, I'm the one who meditates and chants the names of God in Sanskrit and Gurmukhi and Hebrew and whatever language Rumi wrote in. I just read him in English. But, I see that we're all divine. As Yogi Bhajan says, if you can't see God in all, you can't see God at all. And on this Mother's Day, I really feel that so deeply, that we're all the mother. We're all connected to that divine life force from the divine mother, Mother Earth herself. So that's my invitation. How much more can you be love? How much more of yourself can you receive and accept and love? Happy Mother's Day. Blessings.